In today's journey, we talk about the battle that is always brewing inside of every brewer and how I overcame the challenges. You see, most brewers find themselves going down a dark path, trying to control everything about their brew as some way to pay tribute to their masters of old. When in reality, it has always been the expression of creativity and art and science that makes great beer. A classic example, at one point someone broke with tradition and put hops into beer instead of the traditional groot. The words also change, because back then, beer meant hopped, ale meant not hopped, but now ale means top fermenting, because we didn't know about yeast back then. But we did have magic sticks, as it took a measure of faith to make beer. It was only when control and creative expression came into balance that we finally gave way to knowledge and true mastery of brewing. And that's what I did. I went to school and I have a certificate that makes me a certified brewer now. After Adventures in Homebrewing closed down their local shop by me, I decided to further my knowledge, thinking that 13 years of homebrewing meant I knew a lot about brewing. Oh boy, was I wrong. But I went in with a you can always learn something if you're not careful attitude, and I learned a lot. Plus there was a lot of hands-on experience to be had. Brewing on the 7-barrel system that they have there, working side by side with people that have worked in the industries for decades, and a real, true-to-life actual brewmaster. Learned in Germany. But this is how I found balance after finding it difficult to move forward as a brewer. I kept wanting to push boundaries and test new theories and try new things, but I didn't completely understand the basic science of brewing, and that's where a biochemistry class really comes in handy. Even the science of how to put words to what you want to say about the flavor of a beer is a topic that's covered. There is plans for a video going more in detail about my experience in school, but I want to cover more about what this means for the channel going forward, as now I am trained as more of a professional brewer and familiar with the professional brewing world. But I also don't just have experience homebrewing. I have experience in homebrewing customer service and support. This gives me an advantage as I don't just understand the science of brewing, but also what the customer wants and expects. So unlike other brewers, when they see the pinter, they see it as another Mr. Beer gimmick. But really, this is a 1-gallon fermenter with a spunding valve. That means it carbonates itself under its fermentation pressure. On the other hand, there's the Demon Brewing Company. That makes interesting products, but are they worth it? Like the 1-gallon fermenter doesn't get an airtight seal, but what other 1-gallon conical is there? But if this is too small scale for you, we can talk about when it's important to CIP versus COP, and when to emulate that in the home brewery. And don't worry, science fans, we have the microscopes ready to go. I mean, what's the point of your fancy fermenters if you're not taking proper care of your yeast? There are breweries that will spend money on anything but a $100 microscope. And of course, because I love them, we're going to cover all the controllers you can use to control your fermentations. Things like Raspberry Pis, Arduinos, ESP32s, stuff like that. Data logging is definitely one of the things that home brewers need to do better at emulating professional brewers. However, some brewers just like to have fun, and that's cool too, and I'd never make fun of them for that. Because at the end of the day, all brewing comes down to mastering the 3 pillars of brewing. And in case you've already forgotten, those are knowledge, control, and expression of creativity. Just be careful about that last one though, because if you're not paying attention to the other 2 pillars, it can get out of hand. But now it's your turn. Tell us a time that creativity got out of hand for you, or maybe control got a little daunting for you. And if you crave a little more knowledge, check out some of our other videos. Otherwise, happy brewing.